Hey, this is Daniel for Adorama. I'm here in New York City in my studio, and we're going to talk about lighting for video, specifically lighting for interviews. So the interview is the bread and butter of the videographer. You're going to get lots of assignments doing this, and it's really tempting to walk in there with one of these modern cameras that can shoot in very low light and not light your interviews. But remember, if you do that, you're going to produce shots that anybody could have done. Anybody with $5 and a camera can walk into a place and point it at somebody and interview them. I'm going to show you how to make your shots look professional really quickly with minimal amount of equipment. A few things people think about when they're deciding whether or not they think they can light is how much equipment are they carrying? You've got a camera, a tripod, audio, all that. Do I have enough space for lighting? Well, I can tell you that in this small kit here, I'm holding a 3-point lighting kit, enough to shoot most interviews, and it's a tiny little bag. You can see, simply packed, ready to go. Okay, so here we are. Again, we're in a studio, so I'm just going to use this stool as the place where my subject will be. If you're in an office, you might use their chair, the side of their desk they might be sitting on, or a conference table. If they're a young executive, figure that out first. Where's your subject going to sit down? Where's your camera angle? So let's see how long the lighting takes. Okay, so now I've got the lights basically in place. At this point, I'm going to need somebody to sit in so I can tweak them finally to get them in their final spots. So it's important to know before you start shooting, especially if it's a series of interviews, which direction the person's going to be talking. Oftentimes in a documentary, they'll want to have some people looking one way, some people looking the other way, as far as off camera. That way they can kind of mix it back and forth. So make sure you know that ahead of time so you know which direction to put the light. Okay, so I've got the lights in place roughly, and I'm having somebody sit in. In this case, I'm having Dave, who's one of my camera ops helping me. But if you were by yourself, somebody from the office, somebody who's not the CEO that's too busy to be sitting in while you're getting things ready. And you can see it's already pretty close because I set up the stuff roughly where it should be. A little practice gets you there. Dave's going to be looking off this way slightly. I'm going to stand on that side of the camera, so I put the light on that side. For safety purposes, especially if you don't know who you're making an interview of, you want to usually have them facing towards the key light. Facing towards the key light is going to be more gentle on the face, so it'll be good for everybody. If you know the person has a certain kind of face and you want to be more dramatic, you can go the other way, but to be safe, towards the key light. Now I've got a separation light here that's hitting him, and I'm just going to tweak it a little bit because I think it's not quite showing up enough. Because Dave is a young man, I can let a little bit of the light creep around to the front to give a little bit more separation here. And also because I'm using these Dedolights, I have a dimmer so I can control my intensity as need be. I want a little bit more contrast, so I think I'm going to go there with it. So a slash is a good fallback. You can use it for pretty much anything, and it's just a nice way to break up the background. Another way to do that that's really quick and simple is to use gels. I always keep some pre-cut gels for my lights in my bag. Here's a blue one. Just a simple CTB, color temperature blue. I'm just gonna drop it in there. That'll give us a little bit of blue in the background, kind of break it up with a little color. You can use the brand's colors if you want. In this case, I use blue, Adorama is blue, so it works for us however you want to do that. So let me walk through each individual light and we'll kind of talk about them a little bit. Let's start with the key light. So our key light here is a softbox. Softboxes are great because they're very gentle light and they're nice and easy to set up, and they also give you a lot of control as far as where the light falls, let's say versus an umbrella. So because I know I want my subject working into the key light, I have my camera set up with its monitor on this side, because when I'm talking to my subject, I'm going to be able to just eyeball the monitor if need be, and then I still have a good eye line with Dave while we're talking. So behind him over here, we have two of the same light, Dedolight 150 Fernando style lights. This one here is fitted with the barn door and is giving him this hair light slash separation light. Again, it has a dimmer, so I'm bringing up my power up and down as need be. And on the wall, I have the same thing, again, with barn doors making a slash in the background. Now, Dedolights are great because they're very, very powerful for their size and they have built-in dimmers, but if you're on a smaller budget, companies like Lowel make great kits that are also just as small, and you can do this exact same setup with that. Another great tool for giving your background some interest is a projector system. This is the DP1 by Dedolight. It fits right on the front of the light and allows me to cast patterns onto the background and also change the pattern's sharpness, which is great in a small space. So here's a window pattern. Show you what that looks like. You simply remove the barn door. You can leave the color gel in if you want. And we're able to cast a pattern onto the background, and I can make it very sharp. And I can also knock the focus out like that. So if you're in a small space and the person's relatively close to the wall, this can help add an optical illusion to make it seem like the wall's further away by being more out of focus. So that's a really classic pattern. The one that I like personally, the best is this one, which they call sun scratch, because it's pretty subtle and it works best if you take the other one out. There we go. It just kind of looks like light coming through a room, just hitting the wall in a funky pattern, and you can kind of play with it around to get whatever look you want. So now I've got the sun scratch in there with the blue. I hope this video helped and showed you that within 10 minutes you can set up a really great lighting scenario pretty much anywhere. We're using less than 500 watts of power, so this is something you can set up in any office space. You don't have to worry about blowing fuses or any of that kind of stuff. Thanks for watching. I'm Daniel Norton, and I'll see you next time on The Video Show.